Hello, everyone, and welcome inside David Story Field, getting ready for the rubber game between the Bend Elks and the Calais Black Bears. Here with Johnathan Hodgson, glad to be joining me this weekend, or this week, here on the broadcast with the Elks. It's been great to have you alongside me, partner. How have you been enjoying getting to watch some Bend Elks baseball here in the West Coast League?
This has been a blast. Working with you has been a lot of fun. We've been doing some really cool things. Your players have been great to get to know and talk to before the games, and some really exciting baseball the last couple of nights. So yeah, I'm having a blast.
And you've had lots of experience yourself behind the mic. Actually had some broadcasting experience in the West Coast League with the Victoria Harbor Cats. So take me through your broadcasting journey here behind the mic.
Yeah, so I got into baseball as a young kid, and just needed a way to make baseball work long term and stay in it. And so, long story short, I did about 10 years of play-by-play for the Okotoks Dogs in the Western Canadian Baseball Summer League. And then that led into 2 years, that would have been 2016 and 2017, with the Victoria Harbor Cats in the West Coast League. One of those years we won 40 games. Another one of those years we went to the final. So, yeah, it's been fun. Met a lot of great people. Seen a lot of really great players. So yeah, it's been fun.
And why did you fall in baseball? Why did that become your first passion?
It was I grew up in Calgary when I was a young kid, and we had a AAA team at that time, the Calgary Cannons, who at their end were affiliated with the Florida Marlins. And my first live ballpark and live game was them. And they left town when I think I was about 10 years old, and I was heartbroken thinking my baseball life was over. And then the Dogs, Western Canadian League team, came in and played in Calgary at the time for a couple of years, and followed them as a fan. I was the first fan to ever order a jersey, and they invited little kid me into the dugout, and that just kind of snowballed out of control, where I sat in their dugout in uniform for a couple of years as a kid, and then they were gracious enough to work with me and give me some opportunities when I got into high school and started thinking big picture. And so I started doing play-by-play when I was 16, I think. Yeah.
So what drew you into broadcasting? What made you want to be the voice of a team for baseball?
You know what? Obviously, as you can probably see, I use a wheelchair. So honestly, at the very beginning, it was, my way into the clubhouse, my way into those relationships. And there's a kind of an outlook that I've taken on, that I've a passion for the game and a love for the people, and the excitement of the game and the winning. I've won 4 championship rings. I love that part of it. But it's the lasting relationships you get out of the common pursuit of baseball with all these people here. So, and along the way, on the broadcast side, I've become friends with people like Jerry Howarth, who did the Toronto Blue Jays play-by-play for 36 years. He won 2 World Series as a broadcaster, and I've been fortunate enough to just call him a friend, which has been amazing. Little kid me knew I wanted to be in the game, and this is the way I could do it.
And what would that little kid you think of you now, having been able to call baseball for a decade for the Dogs, call a couple years in the Victoria Harbor Cats, and now doing other sports like hockey and soccer and things like that?
Yeah, I think little kid me would be pretty happy. I had a similar track and similar mindset to a lot of players at this level. I wanted to see how far I could go with it, see if I could go up the ladder into pro ball and such, and that didn't work out. But I've had two times that I can remember when I was in Okotoks, which has a phenomenal facility there. There was a small tour being given of the facility, and family comes into my booth, and a little kid, and he looks up at me and he says, "You have a cool job." I look at him, I'm like, "You're right, buddy, I do." And when I moved to Victoria, I had a young fellow who was in a similar spot to where I was, getting towards high school and loved baseball and wanted to take a closer look at what broadcasting looked like. So I had him shadow me and stayed in touch with him for a bit. And so that was, as I've gotten older, it's about giving back. And those were two really cool ways to kind of give back to people who were, in spots kind of like I was. And, that's why I'm having so much fun here this week is, if people have been listening to our calls the last couple nights, love me some Alan Cox. He was one of my mentor types with the Okotoks program, and so when I had a chance to come see him here, he welcomed me in with open arms, and he told me there is this broadcaster that he wanted me to meet, and so you know what? I'm grateful to you for opening the door to your booth, so to speak. We're doing it in the dugout, but I'm grateful for the opportunity to have some fun. But you know what? I just want to, there's not much I can teach you. You're a rock star, but I just want to be an encourager that so many people were to me.
Well, it's definitely been encouraging to have your presence here with me. It's very inspiring. And describing Alan Cox as a mentor for you, he's already rubbed off on me. It seems like that guy brings positive energy from the universe around him everywhere he goes. Take me through how influential he's been on you in your life.
Oh, it's I can't even really put it into words. Obviously, the baseball side, I could sit and talk baseball with him all day, talk hitting. One of the best hitting coaches you'll ever meet at this level. But you know what? As I was a kid growing up and kind of figuring out who I was outside the game and trying to bring that into the game. He was an encourager to me. You can be the same person, outside the game and inside the game. And as I've gotten older, when I realized I wasn't going to get out of college baseball, I was kind of scared. Because I thought, okay, I'm going to always get older. And the players are always going to keep getting younger, it seems. But he was one of the people that kind of adjusted my sights, like, hey, you have experience. Okay, you may not have played like these guys did, but you have life experience and you've learned from people in the game. You have something to offer these younger kids now, and that's something that scared me, because I loved having that teammate kind of relationship, but I've grown to appreciate it, and the kind of the big brother kind of relationships I can have with people like Alejandro Cazorla now. Alan, I love that guy.
Yeah, I mean, he is truly an incredible human being. He has been just, as you said, the same guy as he is in the clubhouse, as he is just walking the streets here in Longview, and he just brings that character. I wanted to, as you were saying, as you've gotten older, you've gotten wiser. What are some things of wisdom that you've been able to gain as you've gotten older?
That's a broad question. You know what? It's for me, it's been really, really important to me. As I said, not a very small percentage of people, have the full dream come true. And so for me, it's just, be where your feet are is the old saying, and invest in where you are and love where you are. And you know, it was introduced to me back when I was, an aspiring young fiery broadcaster who wanted to get to the next level as quick as possible. And a message I got at that time when I was doing games in Okotoks from Jerry with the Blue Jays, and he told me to treat every game I do like Game 7 of the World Series, because that is my Game 7, and there's no, there's nothing wrong. It doesn't matter the level you're working, and so, I'm perfectly happy and content with wherever I'm at. And the time in Victoria, even when I got there, they wanted me to be a part of their baseball staff as well, which was an amazing opportunity, and that even opened my eyes to I can be an actual inside the line sports guy. And so after baseball, there's been some hockey operations experience in junior hockey, and there's been soccer operations experience in pro soccer, which is amazing to little kid me who wasn't a big fan of soccer back in the day. But it's just enjoying where you are and making the most of where you are.
Well, that is certainly a great lesson that I've been able to take to heart here in Bend, and enjoying where my feet are here with the Elks. And whether you believe it or not, interacting with you, it's been very inspiring to see all that you've done in your life. And from seeing you interact with the players, I can see it's rubbed off on them too. You talk about the importance of relationships and giving back. What is so important to you about giving back to the next generation, and what do you hope to leave in each person that you come across?
Yeah, you know what? I was that person when I was young that the game was everything. When I was at home in Okotoks, winning was everything. And then as I pursued my broadcasting ambitions, the success of my career was everything. And now it's the life experiences. It's really demonstrated to me that the destination isn't everything, and eventually all players find out that eventually the baseball is going to end. And so baseball can't be it's absolutely a real and a valuable pursuit and a piece of the puzzle, but it's not everything. It can't be your full identity. And so that's part of this week, is getting to know these guys, who they are away from the field, and having that, learning to have that rounded out life and that bigger perspective, because nobody knows how long baseball is going to take each one of us. So.
Absolutely. That's a great lesson. Is there anything else that you would like to leave, a word of wisdom for our audience? You're full of it, so I'd love to, if you have anything else to share, to just pass it along to our Bend Elks fans watching.
No, you know what? It's, I don't know, man. I've talked a lot here, and I'm not used to being the one answering the questions. I'm used to being in your seat, right?
Right.
But no, I've been around this level of baseball for a long time, and in small town scenarios where the summer league team is a big deal, and I've been blessed to see it from the player perspective and the fan perspective. I had a really unique opportunity to be in the clubhouse, in the coach's room, and then up on the concourse with the fans.
And now in the dugout.
Now with you in the dugout, and everybody on all sides, respected me and trusted me in that, to be in that space, and And you know what? As if I could, talk to the fans for a second, your support, it honestly it does mean a lot to these kids. These guys are from a variety of programs all over the country. A lot of high power programs in the West Coast League, but not necessarily all of them. So the atmosphere you create at the games, or if you're a host family, welcoming them into your home for a summer, this means a lot, and you're creating memories for these kids. So, the fans are a huge part of the puzzle. So, keep supporting, because it means a lot to these guys.
Absolutely. Memories that they'll have for a lifetime, and people that they'll meet here in Bend and all across the West Coast League that will have relationships for a lifetime. And I have a relationship right here for a lifetime. Johnathan, appreciate you taking the time, man.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Elks taking on the Cowlitz Black Bears, looking for this series win in the rubber game tonight at 6:35.